My husband, Nicky's never been a huge entertainer, I think because he is on the road so much and he is such a public figure that when he's off the road and at home, he just kind of wants to chill his brain and not have people in his face and everything. So he's really a homebody, and I was able to kind of bring him out of that shell because I am very social. And we would start when we were dating with Easter brunches that I would throw. And I thought, oh my gosh, I have space to do it in, number one, because I couldn't throw something for 20 people in my apartment. So my boyfriend's house has space and he has a bigger dining room table. And I really just found this creative streak in myself that came out around entertaining, and realized it's my favorite part of the DIY process. I'm making it in Hollywood, but doing it all myself. I'm Courtney 6, the how-to girl, bringing Hollywood DIY to you. Welcome back. Before we make some delicious drinks for your martini bar in the next episode, let's talk cocktail cups and what you can do to add an elegant Hollywood touch of glam to an everyday cocktail. I got this great DIY idea from the Casamigos annual Halloween party. It's thrown by Randy Gerber and George Clooney. My favorite costume was Jessica Alba. She was dressed up as Romy from Romy and Michelle's high school reunion, which is hands down my favorite movie, so that was fun. She nailed that costume. But the best part about the whole party, besides all the wild dancing, was, of course, the tequila, because it's Casamigos, right? So they served tequila in little tiny bamboo cups and cucumber cups, and they were kind of like little shooters. And I thought, wow, that's super cool and creative. What can I whip up to serve some festive cocktails in? And I came up with something pretty cool. You're gonna like it. Let's get started. Here we go. Get ready to have fun and play with fruit in a way that you've never done fruit before. Fabulous cocktail cups. I've gone ahead and cut and cored 2 green apples and 3 red apples. And you can see they're not super deep, not all the way down. You want to be careful when you're coring. I just did it with the spoon, and I'm going to show you in a second. But when you go down, don't get too deep because you don't want to puncture your apple, because then your beautiful cocktail is going to go spilling everywhere, and what a waste that would be. So I've gone ahead and done all of these, and I'm going to just finish up my last one using a regular spoon, nothing fancy about it, and just rotating my apple, trying to make it thin enough on the edges where it does feel like a cup and lightweight, and there is enough room to do a nice, basically it's a big hearty shot of a cocktail. Once it is all cored, I added a little bit of lime juice, but let me show you how to do it. The reason for this is it's gonna help the insides of your apple not brown. So I'm just gonna squirt a little bit in each one. And the trick with doing these is you really want to core them right before your guests arrive, or right before you're planning on serving them, because as neat as they do look, they will brown pretty quickly. So I wouldn't leave them out for longer than a half hour until you're planning on serving them. All right, next up, we're going to give the top of the rim a pretty finish, just using a piece of ice. I'm gonna go over the edge of each one of my apple cups. Okay, so on this plate, I just have some sugar in the raw. I like using sugar in the raw for a lot of my projects because it really does look like, almost like a glitter, and it's very shimmery, it glistens in the lights, and it's just, to me, it's a lot prettier than regular brown sugar. Not that I have anything against my brown sugar, I love it too, but more in drinks than for decorating, because I just think that looks really nice and elegant. Okay, so now you can see they're starting to look really cute and festive. Let's move over to our cocktail. In my martini shaker, I'm gonna add some ice. This recipe is really nice and easy, and here's why. It doesn't have to be exact. It's just your preference. It's made with Fireball whiskey, so you can always alternate it and do apple schnapps instead if you don't care for whiskey, or if you want it extra appley, you can add in the schnapps. You can kind of play with it and just make it your own. I personally love this recipe and think it's wonderful for the fall, but again, if it's summer, it may not work for you. So we're gonna start with a cup of spiced cider. This is my favorite whiskey. I'm not a huge whiskey drinker, but it basically, to me at least, it tastes like a hot tamale, which is the candy, not an actual hot tamale. So we're gonna add half a cup of our Fireball whiskey in there, and then we're gonna add half a cup of water. Okay, half a cup of water. Here goes nothing. Oh, it's on there. Okay. And we're shaking it. Okay, now it's, oh look, it's all bubbling. It looks pretty. Okay, so we have it all shooken up. And now I'm just gonna pour it into my cute little cocktail cup. That looks so cute, and it has the perfect amount of fizz. If you wanna get really crazy, you can garnish with a cinnamon stick, and it makes a nice little stir too. But you can also leave it simple and clean, just like this. Feel free to roll up your sleeves and don't get scared to get creative. You can pretty much find a fruit that will complement any occasion, and I definitely would recommend pomegranates for the holidays. Up next, we're gonna be making a martini bar, so stay tuned. Cheers, see you then.